Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Simone here. So today I'm going to be filming a different kind of video for me. I'm actually going to be filming my July TBR, and I mentioned in my latest Q&A video that I don't really do TBR videos because I don't often stick to them. However, I think the reason I don't often stick to them is because it depends what books come into my library, but at the moment I'm trying to finish off the library books I've got and then not get any more out right now because I'm hoping to be moving house in September. I'm hoping to be moving house in September in with my boyfriend AJ. You can all go and follow him on Artceptual if you like, because he'll be finished uni and then hopefully we'll be moving in together. So I will be moving completely away from where I am now, so I don't want to have loads of library books out obviously around that time. So I'm thinking if I can read them as many of them as I can in the next couple of months, and then yeah, I'm going to try out the TBR thing and see how I go. I really enjoyed picking the books I was going to read this month, and I'm kind of going to do a little theme thing every month. But before I go into my sort of theme this month, I'm going to talk about the library books that I'm going to be reading this month. So I actually have 4 library books that I wanted to get to this month. The first one is one of my Stand Up to the TBR books, and also it's one I'm really excited to read. And that is Another Day in the Death of America, 24 Hours, 8 States, 10 Young Lives Lost to Gun Violence by Gary Young. And this follows Gary Young, who picks a random day, Saturday 23rd of November 2013, and he talks about all the different gun violence that killed young people. So like I say, 8 states, 10 lives lost to gun violence in one single day. And I'm really interested to read this, like I said in my Stand Up to the TBR, which I will link below. This is something that I think is really prevalent, unfortunately, in today's society. This is happening more and more often, and I really wanted to get a feel for that because obviously I don't live in America, so I don't have that kind of everyday fear of this happening. But I do think it's important to educate myself, so I'm hoping I can do that with this one. I then have Flame in the Mist by Renee Ardier, and this, I've been told this is a Mulan retelling, but then I've also seen people talking about how this was pitched to them as a Mulan retelling and it's not really. So I don't really know too much about this. I'll really quickly read really quickly read the synopsis because I don't know anything else about it really. This says, the only daughter of a prominent samurai, Mariko has always known that being a woman means she's not in control of her fate. Never mind her cunning or her skills as an accomplished alchemist, Mariko was raised for one purpose only, to marry. At just 17 years old, Mariko is sent to the Imperial Palace to meet her betrothed, a man she did not choose. But the journey is cut short when her convoy is ambushed by the Black Clan, a group of bandits hired to kill Mariko before she reaches the palace. The lone survivor of the attack, Mariko swears revenge on those who want her dead. She infiltrates the Black Clan disguised as a peasant boy and befriends their leader. The clan warms to Mariko, impressed by her intellect and ingenuity, but as she gets closer to her enemies, Mariko uncovers a dark history of secrets that will force her to question everything she's ever known. So I can kind of see the kind of Mulan bits to this, I suppose. I haven't read The Wrath and the Dawn duology by Renee Ardier, but I've heard really good things, and this one was in my library, so I did pick it up, and I'm quite excited to get to it. I'm also really enjoying fantasy right now, so hopefully this is one that I will love. Then we have one that I'm excited and also quite nervous about, and that is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo, which is the sequel to Six of Crows, which was my favourite book of last year. The first one is set in the Grisham universe, and it follows 6 misfits who all have to kind of mastermind this kind of heist where they try and steal something, and it's kind of an impossible one. And obviously the first book's finished and I loved every minute of it. I really enjoyed it. Again, I'm really into fantasy right now, so I'd quite like to read some more, and I really want to finally read the sequel to my favourite book. And then the last library book that I have this month is Zadie Smith's NW, which I was going to return because I wasn't sure I was going to get to this, but I've decided to give it a go because who knows. It follows a load of is it teenagers? Yeah, who live in, is it like a council estate? Yeah, they live in a council estate, Caldwell, in London, and I think it's about that and about the people that live there and about the actual council estate itself. I don't know too much else about this, but I feel like Zadie Smith is one of those authors that everybody really likes, so hopefully this is one that I will enjoy too. Then I'm actually participating in 2 buddy reads this month, one of which I have, in fact both of this I'll already have started by the time this video goes up, but I don't think I will get to them. If I finish them, obviously in June, it will be in my June wrap up, which you'll see next week probably, but otherwise I'm going to mention them here. So the first one I'm currently reading with Mary from With Cinnamon Please, whose channel I'll link below, and we are reading The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. We're nearly halfway through at this point when I'm filming this. This is basically about a girl named Esther Greenwood she has a very kind of bright future ahead of her in journalism, and yet she can't quite seem to enjoy it. She suffers from what seems to be some kind of depression and disassociation, and also I think this has got some form of kind of talk about suicide in this, which I think I mentioned this was a little while ago in a video. I can't remember which one, I'll try and link it below if I can remember, but I remember talking about this and saying how I wasn't 100% sure if I was ready to read this, because I felt like it was going to bring up a lot of mental health things that I'm trying to forget about. But I'm hoping that, like I say, we're nearly halfway through and I'm okay at the minute, so I'm enjoying this, and hopefully we will finish this month. And then with Becky from Beck's Books, in June, at the beginning of June, which you'll see again in my June wrap up, we read Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer, which is about a man named Chris McCandless who basically went off on his own into the Alaskan wild and then was found dead a few months later. And a lot of people have a lot of controversy about it because they think that he was just a very selfish person because he didn't tell his parents where he was going, and there's a lot of kind of talk about that. However, Chris's sister, Karen McCandless, wrote this book, which is the book that we're going to buddy read. This is The Wild Truth by Karen McCandless, and this is about it's called The Secret, it says The Secrets That Drove Chris McCandless Into the Wild, and I believe the main point of this is talking about how Chris McCandless and Karen McCandless's parents were actually very abusive, physically and emotionally. I believe there was a lot of like manipulation and things, and she obviously read Into the Wild and obviously heard all the controversy and wanted to kind of put her story out there and be like, this is the reason why he didn't tell anyone, which I think will be really interesting. Becky and I really enjoyed reading Into the Wild together, so hopefully we'll enjoy this one too, and I think then we kind of plan on reading all of Jon Krakauer's books, so that's quite exciting. So on to the theme of this month's TBR, other than my library books and my buddy reads. I talked, like I said, I've talked about how rubbish I am at TBRs. I looked back at my summer TBR for 2017 that I made, and I really don't know why I made that video because I never ever followed it. So I went through the list of books that I talked about, and I've decided to read the ones that I didn't read then, now, hence we're in summer. So I have 5 books here that were on that list that I haven't read yet. The others I have all read, not necessarily that summer, I've definitely read them since then, but I have 5 books left that I want to read this month. So the first one is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is a book about I think this is now a part of a trilogy. Originally it was a duology, I believe, but this follows I forget her name, Lara Jean, who basically writes love letters to all of the boys that she's ever had a crush on, and then for whatever reason one day all the letters get sent out, and then it's all about the repercussions of that, and it's about that, and it's a really nice contemporary. Again, like I said, the third one has just come out, maybe within the last year anyway, so that would be really cool to kind of be able to read another one that people talk about. So yeah, that's the first one on the list. And then, again, this was a summer TBR, so it is quite contemporary heavy. So the next one is This Lullaby by Sarah Dessen, and this will actually be my first Sarah Dessen book. I don't know too much about this. I believe it's about a girl who doesn't know her father. The only thing he left her is a song, This Lullaby, with the line, I will let you down, and I think it's about that. I'm not 100% sure anything else about it. I really like this cover, the love hearts on. Yeah, so I'm interested to kind of find out if I like Sarah Dessen, because a lot of people talk about her writing. We then have another contemporary book and another author that everybody talks about that I've not read before, and that is Just One Day by Gail Forman, and this follows our main character. I don't know actually what this is about really. I think it's got something to do with a girl who meets a boy who takes her to Paris and they only go for one day. Again, that could be completely wrong, but yeah, I don't know anything else about it. It's meant to be like a nice contemporary romance, I guess. So, and I like Paris. I've been to Paris a few times, so I'd like to kind of read about it a bit more. So, yeah, looking forward to this one. Then you're all going to be shocked because I'm finally going to read a book that I've mentioned on this channel more than any other book that I've not read. This must have been at least like 5 videos, I reckon. And that is 1984 by George Orwell. This is a dystopian novel kind of that sparked off Big Brother, and it's all about like the cameras watching and you're not really allowed an opinion on things, you're kind of told what to think. And I've heard so many things about this, like everyone has read this, and I feel like it is very much a classic and I need to get to it because I keep talking about it in videos, and it would be great to finally be able to actually say I have read it. And then the final book from that TBR was a book that I bought from a charity shop just after it actually was released, and I was really impressed with myself that I'd found a bargain, and of course I never read it. And that is Geekerella by Ashley Poston, which I believe is set around Comic-Con? Excelsicon. It's like a convention thing, and it's about a girl who her favourite book I think is being made into a TV show, and the guy who's been hired to play the part of the main character she really doesn't like, and then there's some kind of romance going on with text messages and not knowing who it is you're talking to, and I just can't wait to read this because I've not heard anything bad about it, I don't think. And like I said, I got this like straight away, and I love the addition of this, like it's just really, really nice. And then following on from that, I want to every month pick a random book from my TBR. I've put all of my, well I've put most of my books now, I've got a few more shelves to do, but I've put a good majority of my books onto an owned shelf on Goodreads, and I got this idea from Olive from Book Olive? I can't remember her channel. I love her channel, I will link it below for you. She'll pick 3 random books off her Goodreads TBR and then pick which one of those she wants to read. I'm just going to pick a random one because all of the books on my own shelf I actually own. So I'm going to pick a random book and see what I'm going to be reading this month. Oh, it's loading. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Let me find it. There it is. Right on the top as well. Okay. I have quite a big stack already, and this is quite a large book, so this could be fun. But I'm going to be reading, or attempting to read, The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons, which is a huge book. I don't know how many pages it is. Let's have a look. Oh, it's only 650. Like, I think I read that kind of book quite regularly anyway, so actually that's not as big as I thought it was. For some reason I was thinking it was like 800, 900 pages. So, this is set in Russia in the Second World War, I believe. Yeah, and it basically, I've never read a World War II book written from the Russian perspective, so I'm quite interested to read this. This is kind of a love story and a war story all in one, and I've heard a lot of people don't like this because apparently the romance in this is very problematic. I'm interested to read it for myself to find out what I think. Quite scared because, like I said, my TBR list is already massive, and now I've just added another huge book, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. So that is my July TBR. I'm really excited to start doing TBRs. I'm hoping that if this month goes well and I actually read a lot of the books that I picked to put on there, hopefully this will kind of be a monthly thing now. So let me know if you like TBR videos. And yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys!